Welcome to Innovation and Leadership. I'm Jess Larson. Today on the show, we've got Danny Isserles.
I can say that the whole process is kind of like entering a jungle, knowing that you want to come out the other side sometime, but you're not sure what you're going to see on the way and what you're going to learn on the way.
Danny, thanks for making time.
No problem. My pleasure.
So, for people who don't know about your robot, can you tell us about the company and the robot?
Sure. So I'm head of the U.S. branch for a company called Temi, the personal robot. Temi is the world's first personal robot that actually does work. More than that, it has actual usability for the user. It's much more than a toy or novelty. And we're also very proud that it is actually affordable at a consumer level, at a family level. So we are hoping that Temi will be the trailblazer of home robotics, of personal robotics, and will open a whole new market and a whole new way to consume technology. So a bit about what Temi is and what it does. So to explain it very, very simply, it's built on a couple layers. The first one would be a smart display, so like a smart speaker with a QHD or 4K display. So you can ask questions from the internet. You can consume videos and all your entertainment. You can use educational apps, etc. But this smart screen is placed upon a body, well-designed body, which is about a height of a 10-year-old kid. And it has built in a whole Harman Kardon design sound system. So when you consume the internet, when you consume entertainment, you can actually enjoy it in high quality. And the third layer on top of it is full autonomous navigation. So Temi has a computer dedicated to autonomous navigation. The second you turn Temi on, it starts mapping its surroundings, whether it be your home or your office. And you can, from that moment on, you can, just teach Temi very easily all sorts of locations in your home and office. So you can say, hey, Temi, this is the living room, this is the kitchen, this is the bedroom. And from that moment on, when you preset these locations, you can send Temi over to different locations. What does it give you? So first of all, if you're next to Temi, you can tap a button on top of his head. One tap, Temi locks on your body and face and starts walking around with you. So all your technology, all the devices that you currently use, walk around in one piece with you around the house. And it comes much more of a thing when you're on a video call. So you don't have to hold a phone or aim an iPad at your face or at your children's face. You put it in follow mode, and whatever you do, Temi will track your face and body and will keep you at the center of the frame. If I'm away, then I can use Temi to spend time with my distant employees or with my family when I'm traveling. So let's say I'm traveling to Hong Kong, and my kid wants me to read him a bedtime story. So I can hop into my robot in my apartment in Manhattan, press Bobby's room. I don't have to joystick the robot around. Temi sees all its surroundings. He knows if there's a sock on the floor or if I pulled out a chair, and he will know to drive to my kid's room no matter what changed in the environment. So that way I can very easily spend more time with my family, with my loved ones. I can have my mother hop into the robot from 6,000 miles away and spend time with her grandchildren without any middleman holding a device. She can just be with us. So this is what we see as the most exciting feature of this robot: reconnecting families, reconnecting business partners. So giving everybody the feeling that they're a bit closer together.
And I'd encourage anybody who hasn't seen this thing to just go to robottemi.com. It's TEMI. The videos are super well produced, by the way. Great job on those.
Thank you.
So just my own technical question. How wide is that? How deep is it? And then how big are the wheels on the bottom of that, kind of the column that holds the screen on there?
Hmm.
About. It's about a foot wide, maybe?
Yeah, so unfortunately, my measures are in the metric system, and
That's
I
okay.
don't
I'm
really.
Canadian. I can translate.
Oh, okay, okay. So I'd say it's about the exact dimensions are on robotimi.com, but I say it's about a meter high, and it's wide, pretty much like the base of it is about 30 centimeters or
Yeah.
25 centimeters
Okay.
wide. So it's built to be not intimidating, not space consuming, and beautiful in your living room. So you'd kind of like it to be in your home.
Yeah. So about a foot wide, a little over 3 feet tall. Um,
Yeah.
so the show here, Innovation and Leadership, you and I had a great talk before the interview about some of the ideas here. But I want to start with innovation because you had been in marketing for the company over in Tel Aviv before opening up and becoming the head of the US company. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you talk about the approach to innovation? I mean, you guys have obviously accomplished something that a lot of folks in the robot world would like to, and you actually got there. Can you talk about maybe how you guys do innovation different that it actually came to fruition?
Yes. First of all, I was fortunate enough to be in the company and beside the company from day one, from the first concept of temi. Um, so I can say that the whole process is kind of like entering a jungle, knowing that you want to come out the other side sometime, but you're not sure what you're going to see on the way and what you're going to learn on the way. And so every day you come to the office, and it's just new surprises and new ideas. So originally, about 7 years ago, before the company even started, Yossi, the founder of the company, Yossi Wolf, showed me a walking stick with a sticker which was supposed to symbolize a button. And he told me I was at my grandmother's a few days ago. She had problems carrying cups of tea and all sorts of small accessories she walks around the house with, and I want to build her an assistive robot. And that was the original idea. About 3 years ago, we started to actualize the company. We built the company, and we started to develop the concept, which started again as a elderly assistant robot. But after really a few discussions, we start saying, wait, but if I'm connected to the internet, I can do this and this. And if it has wheels, I can do this and this. And if I'm attaching a screen, we can enjoy this and this. So it's not for the elderly. It's for me. It's for you. And then we started developing a product for ourselves that we'd enjoy. And we very quickly understood that, first of all, it's a much more it's more of a simple process to know what you want and what you are lacking in your life, rather than saying, oh, there's a population over there that needs. No, if you make something for yourself, the distance for the answers is made much shorter, because you ask yourself the questions. And it's I think there's something a bit more grounded about it, to make something that you will use, that you think you will enjoy. Again, because nobody can tell you that you're wrong about it. Because if this is what you want, then this is what you create. And as we started as a team, asking ourselves, what do I want of this? Would I like this? What am I lacking? Then a lot of new solutions and new ideas came into mind and are still coming. We're just constantly improving the product every day.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about things like I believe you guys won the Top Innovator Award for 2018 at the O'Reilly Artificial Intelligence Conference. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When you think about obviously there's a ton of competition for an award like that. When you think about why it is you guys won, what would you attribute it to?
I guess there's I'd attribute it to two main things. I think, first of all, the use of AI, the way we are using it, which is in two different uses. One is like the smart speaker or smart display, but that's not new. The revolutionary piece, which I think blows everybody's minds when they see temi, is the navigational piece. The fact that temi sees and understands where he is. That is, when I try to explain it, I say it is as if temi sees like a human being. He sees nothing like a human being, but we taught him, and he's constantly learning how to understand all the data that he gets and analyze it and get a conclusion kind of like a human being. I can cross here, I can't cross through here, maybe I should go through there. So temi as a robot has a whole process of thinking where it should go, how it should go, and that is something that is never done before and was never achieved before by any of the big tech companies. So I think that's something that puts us very much in innovation or an innovative company. And the second thing that I think that impresses and makes us innovative is the fact that we made it reachable and affordable. Because I love the Boston Dynamics robots, the videos that they make with Atlas and all sorts. But then, I can't use it, and I certainly can't buy a robot for $1 million. So, and if I would, then it would backflip. So I think what we made special is we actualized and we made it possible for anyone to own a robot and actually use it. So that's the second part of the innovation here.
Actually, can you talk about that for a bit? Has the price been released?
Mm-hmm. So we are going to sell temi. We're starting sales in 20 days on October 1st for $1,500. And to achieve that price, there was a lot of development and innovation in-house because, as I mentioned before, we set a goal to make it affordable. Now we started to look at all the components, and you look at the BOM prices, the bill of materials, and you look at an Excel sheet and you say, okay, I want to build this, and I want it to be affordable. It's not possible. Just isn't possible. Why? Because some of the components here are too expensive. First one being the LiDAR, the 2D mapping 360 laser. So if you try to buy a LiDAR as a component off the internet, if you'd want to buy something that is reliable, you'd start at prices of $300, and that's just one component out of around 60 different components that build temi. So what we started doing is looking at these Excel sheets and highlighting where our manufacturing and component problems are, where are the high prices which we have to deal with. And each of these components, we just researched and developed in-house something which we manufacture for a much lower price, so we can make the whole unit affordable. And we also, since we already started developing them, then we said, okay, but the uses for the LiDAR on temi aren't exactly like what you do with a Velodyne on top of a car. So we made all these components much more specific for our uses in terms of laser ranges. And just for an example, the LiDAR in temi is based on the bottom of it, and it has to kind of these small sidewalls. So it's a dead spot. So we flipped the LiDAR so we will cross the dead spots faster than a regular LiDAR. So we actually manufacture something for a lower price, but it's much better for our machine.
Interesting. Well, talk about, if you don't mind, I'd love to hear, as you think about the innovation lessons that you guys have learned, any advice for the rest of us who want to help our teams become more innovative of not just the stuff that's in the books, but what you guys have found with your own team?
I think one thing that drives innovation the most is creating a workspace which not only allows but invites a brainstorm. And brainstorming is a tricky process because people feel, I think, very exposed sometimes when they share their thoughts or innovative ideas. When you come from a place of acceptance, first of all, rather than criticism, then the amount of ideas is much higher, and therefore you get much better ideas. That's the first thing. The second thing, as I mentioned before, for innovation is try to solve problems that are close to you, that you care about, that interest you every day. I think that's the main things.
Yeah. It's interesting. It sounds like such a simple thing to have a culture of acceptance instead of criticism.
Yeah.
But in reality, and I know that people do things like, okay, while we're brainstorming, for this part, nobody's allowed to say anything negative. We're going to hold all those for later. This is just the part where we get a million ideas down or something. But in general, many of us have staff that have maybe been with the organization for a couple of decades, and there's some deep ruts. Maybe, maybe they're not the most forward looking, but we got them as our staff. And maybe we're at a bureaucracy where, firing people isn't just an option. When you think about just how critical that is of like making it the kind of place where people want to where people want to share, because folks in the room hold back their knee-jerk reaction of why that, what hurdles might have to be overcome, right? Which typically shows up as criticism. It's the easiest thing to spot on something that's new, that hasn't been thought through, hasn't had the bugs worked out. The flaws are obvious to us. So if you think about, advice for a leader or a manager who needs to help a team member become less critical, how would you help them, pave new roads over old ruts?
So, I've learned a great deal about that from my CEO, from Yossi Wolf. We have a very I think it's a pretty common saying that we had printed in our office in Tel Aviv, which says there are no problems, only solutions. And very quickly, when I started working with him, I joke that my mom raised me to open my eyes and work and worry. Sorry. So I see always, if somebody says, "Hey, let's do this," I say, "Yeah, but on the way you'll get stuck with this and this and this and this and this, and there's so many problems." So that's exactly what Yossi taught me. Let's first of all, shoot forward to the far vision, the long vision. Where do we want to get to in the end? All these small hurdles in the way, we'll solve them one by one. It's you just have to set your goal. And then the hurdles become so small, you tackle them so easily, just by you make a list and you start tackling them. So that's something that I learned very much from him, and I share with my team a lot. Like when they start saying, "Oh, but we'll have this," never mind. We'll solve all these issues. It'll all be fine. And you were asking before about staff members which have been with company for a while and maybe are less open for new ideas, etc. So I think for that, with every person in your team, every now and then, it's a manager's job to call upon the person and together with him check how he's doing, if he is still feeling interest and passion in his position, and if not, when a people holds years of experience within a company, I think he develops so many abilities that you can always, together with him, with the collaborative thinking, maybe shift his responsibilities a bit, put him on different projects, let him look at the whole company from a different angle, see where he can contribute in a different way to refreshen his experience within the workspace.
It sounds simple, but I think there's a lot of us who don't do that. We maybe just sit there frustrated or we complain, but we don't take those actions. And I think that's great advice. Well, I think this is a great spot to pause for the first half of the interview. Everybody, please tune back in. We're going to be asking Danny some more questions about what they've created here. Thanks for making time, Danny.
No problem.